Show. My name is Alicia, and I'm a master practitioner. And this is Lorraine, who I'm sure you all know, who is also a master practitioner. And we are down in Ixtapa, Mexico, still. And we just wanted to get together and speak about fibroids. Okay, so a lot of women experience fibroids, and
A lot do.
yeah, including yourself,
Exactly.
right? So,
Prime
Lorraine,
candidate.
what was your, just before we get into exactly what is a fibroid, because many women will have them and they won't even know that they have them, right? And you had them, and what was your experience?
My periods were heavy. They were long. And I was actually diagnosed anemic because I was losing so much blood.
Because you had an extended menstrual period.
That's right. That's right. It was more like 2 weeks on, a week off, 2 weeks on, kind of like that. And how do you keep up with that? How does your body keep up
And
with
did you know why you had these extended periods, or what other symptoms did you have?
that? Well, the painful lovemaking,
Okay.
you know,
And
that
so,
was there too.
and how did you get diagnosed that you had fibroids? Did you have one? Did you have 20? Because from what I understand, you may not know if you have them, but you may have one, you may have 20, and they can be various sizes. So
Yeah.
how did you learn that you had these? Okay, so you had these symptoms, and you went to the doctor.
Yeah, I went to the gynecologist, and he just did some feeling around there, and then he sent me for an ultrasound, and sure enough, yeah, fibroid.
Okay, so what is a fibroid? What is a fibroid? What's it made up of?
Fibroid. It starts with crystallization, and then it becomes calcification. So it's a calcified mass
And scar tissue.
and scar tissue.
Scar tissue that's
Yeah.
in your pelvis.
And it could be just the mass, but I bet you anything there was strands of scar tissue holding it wherever it was.
And so we're speaking sort of specifically to uterine fibroids. And fibroids can be all over the place, right? But we're speaking specifically to, obviously I've been caught on. We're speaking mainly
Women.
mainly to uterine fibroids. And so that scar tissue starts to develop. Like I said, you could have 10, you could have 1, you could have 20, and they can be all different sizes. It can affect your menstrual period.
You bet.
You can have frequent urination. What other symptoms are there?
Constipation.
Constipation.
You know, because if you've got something extra in there, it could be blocking, could be pushing on the large intestine somewhere.
Pain, back pain.
Back pain, low back pain. You bet.
I guess depends how.
And
how
maybe even down into the legs.
Yeah.
You know, it could even could it cause varicose veins? It could. I think it could.
Well,
It
pooping
could
in your
cause it.
pelvis.
Exactly.
Pooping in your pelvis.
Exactly.
Hey, okay, so I didn't let you finish. You went to the gynecologist. They took an ultrasound, and you had been anemic at that point as well.
Yeah.
And what was your treatment? What did they tell you to do?
They wanted me on iron, and they wanted to do a surgery to remove the fibroid or possible hysterectomy. And I didn't
A
want to do-
hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I didn't want to do any of that. So I went and I sourced out a naturopath, and she was a lovely lady. And we did a lot of homeopathics, a lot of different supplements, and I worked with her probably for about a year, and I was still in the same boat. Heavy periods, lasting longer, fatigue, so tired, and I was working full time, you know, and I would get up. I was working as an assistant for an orthodontist, and I would get up from my chair, and I would feel a gush of blood coming out, and I had
my gosh.
like a maxi pad on and a tampon on, and then I would get up, and I would have to run to the bathroom and make sure everything was still okay and intact, and I wasn't leaking out somewhere where someone could see, you know. So it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. So I worked with her for about a year.
So how many years ago was this?
I was late 30s, so I'm 65, so 25 years ago.
Okay. And did they call it a fibroid at that point, or did they?
They did call it a fibroid. Yeah, they did call it a fibroid. They didn't say tumor, but that's what they told me, it was a fibroid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and from what I understand, about 15 years ago, they started to call it a tumor, which is a very scary word,
It is.
It's a very
It
scary
is,
word.
because everybody links tumor to that C word.
right? Which is just
Stage 4,
Me,
well,
yeah.
well, stage 1,
1,
2,
2,
3, or 4.
1, 2, 3,
Inflammation.
4. Exactly, inflammation. And
So-
people they hear the C word and they get so afraid, rightly so, but that also puts you into a sympathetic state,
Exactly.
creates anxiety,
You bet.
which doesn't allow you to eat properly, which doesn't allow you to sleep properly, which doesn't allow you to live in a calm, in a parasympathetic
You're not breathing
mode. You're
properly.
not breathing
You
properly.
probably, when you're in the sympathetic nervous system, your everything, all the smooth muscle in your body constricts.
Mhm.
So that would be your veins and arteries and all of your inner organs. So everything is holding tight. So it's not moving well.
Mhm.
So yeah, constipation, yeah, problems urinating, yeah, problems digesting, because everything's so tight.
Everything is so tight. So, breathing.
Breathing. And
So simple.
and when you're
The
not
Lionheart breath.
not breathing properly, then your oxygen uptake goes down. And one of the things that happens when you have like fibroids, it can, when the oxygen level in the body goes down, it can become a serious problem.
So there
And
was
those cells can mutate.
There was a study done. Gosh, I can't remember. Otto Warburg or something
Yeah.
did a study about 15 years ago or so, and he had said that over 3 days, if there is only a 35% drop in oxygen over 3 days, so that means holding your breath because you're gripped, that means that you're living in that parasympathetic. That means you're shallow breathing. Exactly. Over 3 days, that is when cells start to mutate. Right? That is when they start to mutate and start to become corrupt. And once they're corrupt, we all know how cells reproduce, right? They exactly reproduce what they just, their buddy over here, it'll reproduce like her. They reproduce, and then that's where you get this scar tissue. That's where you get these mutated cells, right?
Right.
So, and these mutated cells live off of sugar. They are built with anxiety. They live off the lactic acid. They just, because they want to survive. Like, how amazing is the body? I just want to survive.
Yeah, I'm going to pull from whatever I can to make this happen. So if I have to mutate, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So we got to do what we can do.
Okay, so we're going back to your story again.
Yeah.
Okay, they suggested a possible hysterectomy.
Yes.
My goodness. And what other treatments did they suggest for you?
That was pretty much it. Well, they could remove the fibroid, but apparently it was big. I can't remember how big it was, but it was big. And yeah, so I worked with the naturopath for a year, and we couldn't, finally she just said, no, I think at this point, because your periods are so heavy, they're so long, you're still anemic, we're not getting on top of this, you need, there is no other option. You need to have this surgery. So I went in and had the hysterectomy. And I didn't know that it was going to be like a total hysterectomy or a part hysterectomy.
They just put you under and said, yeah, we'll see you in an hour.
Yeah, something like that. And the medical system really did not express to me how I got this to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say, hey, Lorraine, you should have been doing, maybe you could have changed your diet.
Exactly.
Maybe you could have not been running the anxiety,
Yeah. Of trying to just keep up with
exactly.
Keeping your role, your role of the mom, your role of the wife, your role of whoever it is you think your role is supposed to be.
So when I was 40, that's when I had the hysterectomy. And I don't know if any of you remember, when I was 36, I had cancer. so another lump in my body that I wanted to take care of as best as I could because I was so wanted not to have to do the surgery because I had so many surgeries already.
So they didn't mention change your diet.
No, they
And
didn't mention change your diet at all.
And so now we know, what do we know?
Well, we know that, well, number one, you've got to get your body out of the sympathetic nervous system. Most of us are spending our entire life running on that hamster wheel, and we do not give ourselves the permission to slow down.
And isn't, the sympathetic, you would think that the sympathetic system sounds, sympathetic. No,
But it's not.
it's the exact opposite because it's
Yeah.
upside down land.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. So, and when we're running in that sympathetic nervous system, like I said, everything starts to shut down. It's more than just me being anxious and stressed. It's everything is shutting down because I'm supposed to be running or fighting. I'm getting a surge of glucose, that goes through my veins so that I've got instant energy.
Yeah.
But if I've got things like fibroids,
It goes, eats that up.
or maybe I get a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, because my body can't buffer it down anymore.
Yeah. So changing your diet, and a lot of people think that they have these great diets, right? Well, I have my yogurt and my granola in the morning, and I have some orange juice because orange juice is good for you, right?
Yeah.
No, none of that. No yogurt and granola,
No dairy,
no orange juice,
no scary
no
dairy.
dairy, right?
Yeah.
Scary dairy. But keeping yourself, like fruit has the highest vibration. So going through, there's the intermittent fasting, there's water fasting. That's one thing that you could, the advanced water fast. That is one thing that could take you to make huge difference. My thought is, what about people that, okay, but I do eat my dairy and my, everything, and I do drink my orange juice, and I have pasta at dinner, but I have some chicken on it, and I don't put too much of the sauce on. That's okay, right? But a lot of people in the world, that's how they eat.
That's normal.
And you have to be gentle with yourself. You have to gently pull yourself from, you can do massive personal action, absolutely. But some people, they just might not have what it takes to make that happen.
What? 1% a day.
Mhm.
Just do 1%. What is the 1% that you can do today? Maybe today it's just, I'm going to take time and I'm going to do some stretching.
Yeah. And drink more water.
And drink more water.
Structured water.
Maybe with some
Black Diamond.
Yes.
Because a lot of people find it overwhelming. What am I supposed to do? Okay, well, let's start by eliminating dairy and adding more vegetables. Okay, let's start with that. Eliminate dairy, drink more water.
Drink
more
water.
Vegetables.
Drink more water. And then maybe a week or so later, you're looking at you're taking away the amount of meat that you're eating, because most people, you'll have eggs for breakfast, a sandwich with meat in it for lunch, and then some kind of meat for dinner. That's a lot.
So eliminating your meat, and your bread, right? Taking away your
because as we age, we don't need that protein. We honestly do not. So start slowly, but start diminishing it because we don't need it.
You know what I
Unless
used to
we
do?
want to grow this way. When we were kids, we needed more protein because our bodies were growing.
Mhm.
But as adults, no, we don't.
Yeah. What I used to do when I was competing, and I didn't have any of this information, but somehow innately I just knew. But what I would do, because I would train so hard, and then I would have a sugar crash. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I really want a Reese's peanut butter cup. Okay. But what I would do is I would keep a journal, a diary of what I ate. So every night when I got into bed, I would write, I had some fruit. I had whatever, and I would give myself check marks, and then okay, I had a peanut butter cup, and then I would give myself an X, and then I would add up my check marks, and I would add up my X's, and it just kept me accountable for what did I have to do, Okay, well, you know what? Okay, I slipped up. It's okay. It's okay. Tomorrow, all check marks.
Yeah.
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 And then you can have a look and you can say, wow, I had a peanut butter cup 5 times this week, plus my pasta, plus my orange juice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so it just gives you, even just write down, go 2 weeks of everything you write down with no judgment, and stop judging yourself, please.
Exactly. You know, even when we are on a stricter diet, we still take time to go out and visit people and have dinners and socialize. Just make sure that you're still kind of picking better. You might not be picking best, but you're picking better. And then the next day, it's a new day.
Yeah.
It's a day that I can start all fresh again.
Yeah. And the one thing that I've noticed as well as I've moved down my path is that when you first start, you have all those sugar monsters and they want to just continue to eat and they just want more sugar, more sugar, more sugar. But as you get away from eating those sweet, anything that turns to instant sugar, pastas, sweets, breads, flours, stuff like that, your body starts to realize, oh, okay, I don't crave it so much.
It's so cool.
And
you find that you don't eat as much too, because when you start incorporating more raw fresh, which is the best bang for our bodies because it's high vibrational. Mm-hmm. When you start doing that, you find that your body doesn't need as much. It doesn't need as much because you're getting the vibration, the high vibrational foods. Now, it's more than
excuse my arm.
It's more than just the foods. Like we said, taking time to slow down, but also you could be doing the belly button therapy, right? Because that's going to help. I mean, if I would have known, maybe that's the only thing I needed to do was incorporate belly button therapy because it's kind of like non-surgical that I can do at home.
Yeah, exactly. The belly button therapy is like non-surgical that you can do at home by yourself.
And it's going to lovingly start to break apart the fibroid. Like I can go right into where that fibroid is because with my belly button therapy, I can feel it. Mm-hmm. I can feel it. So I can go right in there and work around it and spend some time. And if I'm feeling any pulls that are, on the opposite area, then I'm going to focus on that too, because then that means that there's a scar tissue coming from that fibroid that I need to address. Mm-hmm. So, just.
So the other, another suggestion that you can is using the vaginal infusion.
Exactly.
Okay? So using the belly button therapy because that, releases, puts you into that parasympathetic, gets all of those, not the endorphins, you get your dose.
Yeah.
You get your dose from it, but that puts you 70,000 nerve endings. That's what it is.
Yeah, you stimulate 70,000 nerve endings. And
exactly.
When you do that, oh my gosh, they work.
Yeah.
They work.
So you do the belly button therapy, but like I said, you can also do the vaginal infusion.
And the vaginal infusion would be something, it's another at-home thing that you can do. You just have to grab the products, mm-hmm. mix it together, make sure that you prop your hips up and insert it and let it soak for about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Some people will just put it in and go to bed.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So the vaginal infusion has silver bullet gel. That's the main base of it. It has, you can put a little bit of black diamond in there. Sometimes it makes it black, so you got to be kind of prepared for that.
Just a pinch, because it does liquefy it a bit, and then it's more runny.
Yeah.
So just a pinch of that, and then your Bright Eyes Nano Fulvic drops.
Some frankincense.
some frankincense, and some C60. And actually, let's go back a step.
Mhm.
Before you even do that, you can do the infinite iodine.
But they do not go together.
No, you
Okay.
don't mix it in in
Very.
there. So you want to do the infinite iodine first, and probably about a teaspoon. And what you could use is maybe some kind of an eyedropper or something like that to put it in.
Hips raised.
Hips raised,
Yeah.
because this is liquid, it'll run out. And just let it soak for about 5 minutes, and it kind of just dissipates into the tissues. And then you can do the vaginal infusion. And actually, we should have said before you even did the iodine.
You should do the ultimate enema. Is that what you're going to say?
No,
You should do the ultimate enema too.
Yeah, you could, but I was going to say that you should use a vibrator, a vaginal
To stimulate
the blood,
the blood
flow,
flow.
because then the uptake of all this stuff is better. And did you know that taking something, using nutraceuticals down there,
They're way more
works
absorbable.
1,000 times better than taking them orally.
Yeah,
'Cause this way it has to go through all of the digestive juices and the small intestine and the large intestine.
Yeah, so this way it goes straight up, goes right past the ovaries, right through the uterus, goes into
Exactly.
that whole area, cleans it out.
So it gets rid of the pooping in the pelvis, which is
Yeah.
the reason, one of the reasons, that you got the fibroid in the first place.
Exactly. So this vaginal infusion discussion that we just had brought me to the pelvic restoration and disease prevention course that you
Exactly.
are going to be teaching.
And we are definitely, coming along for that world tour, but we've got to get people signed up for it. So if you're interested, we're going to be in Stewart, Florida.
That's the first one coming up in Florida.
And then McKinney, Texas.
Yeah.
And then up into Barrie, Ontario, and Calgary. And then I can't remember what comes next, but we're in Australia, the United Kingdom, Croatia. And he was talking about somewhere else too.
Thailand, but we don't know that one yet.
Maybe. Shh, we're not sure. But
so you're going to have an opportunity to learn this pelvic restoration. And Lorraine, you were instructing the one that we had here in Ixtapa, and you were also taking it for the first time. You were witnessing what was going on. And we don't have too much more time here, but what can somebody expect to learn in this pelvic restoration course? And is it weird?
Well, it's definitely different. I wouldn't say weird. Most of us, I would say especially people my age, younger people maybe not so much, but most of us have a real disconnect in to our pelvic area. And I was definitely there. I mean, this area was for making babies and delivering babies.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
That's it.
And for your partner.
Yeah. And for my partner. Yep. That was it.
No. It's the ovarian palace.
It is our healing palace, is what it is.
Yeah. It's our holy grail.
When we can really bring that energy down into the pelvic bowl and utilize our breath and really connect, it's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that I had such a huge disconnect. And after the class, I was blown away. I was just blown away with what I had missed all my life. Yeah. If I could have connected with that area, lovemaking would have been spectacular. Mm-hmm. It would have been, and it should have been.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just that one thing would have made
a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah, because there is a disconnect, and whether it be your culture, whether it be just even the fact that your parents or your mom weren't able to speak with you because of their upbringing, because they're just doing the best that they can too, right? And so even though that they were not able to share this with you, now's the chance for you to, as my daughter says, break the curse, right? Explore this opportunity to connect with yourself,
Yeah.
You know, and we had women in there from age 24 up to 70. So
And everybody having results.
everybody, and the results
Everybody.
were people
Like
were
the-
having vivid dreams, and people felt energized, and they felt calm, and
And
they
happy.
and happy.
Happy. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Happy.
Yeah.
It's like, OMG.
You wouldn't expect. I mean, you know what
No.
we say? Well, you wouldn't expect that, but why? Why wouldn't you expect that? Why wouldn't you
Because
expect?
you're sending love down to an area that's been abused and
Yeah.
mistreated and unloved.
Yeah, and I think when you do your mirror work and you look and you smile, even though you're doing this mirror work and you're keeping that slight smile on your face, and you're repeating your BraveHeart oath and that sort of a thing, I think you forget.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is the part right here that I'm looking at, and this
Yeah.
is the part that I love, but then you forget that there's more. There's more to love.
Yeah, and it really is our powerhouse for healing. And there's internal exercises, there's external exercises, and we do. You don't have to, but you can use the yoni egg, and that was cool. I loved it. I'd never done anything like that before, but yeah, it was a really good experience. And then being able to continue with the exercises, internal and external, and the use of the yoni egg.
Yeah.
It a lot of people my age, they're
Yeah.
starting to dry up down
Yeah.
there, and lovemaking is not easy.
Or perhaps you're thinking out of the question.
Yeah.
You know?
I've got a friend that's it's out of the question for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I was going to say was, we're speaking about the pelvic restoration and pain-free pelvis course. It is also going to be offered in a masterclass. Okay, so you can look forward to that. We're just putting it together. We've done some amazing tweaks and whatnot. So we've got a great masterclass that you're going to be able to participate in. You're going to be able to, but there's nothing like live.
No.
There's nothing like
No,
live.
live is so much better.
Yeah.
Always, because you get the energy from everybody,
Absolutely.
and it's like you become like a family.
It's pretty neat.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, so NWPWorldTour.com or BraveHeart Nation. Okay, that's where you want to go to find your dates of your location. And the way I was thinking about this, it's like, well, I'm up in Canada, I'm freezing my butt off. I sure like to go to Florida. Why don't I go to Florida to take a course and get a suntan?
Yeah, or maybe you want to join us in Australia.
Right?
So,
but don't wait too long, because we need to know how many of you are going to show up, so we too can show up.
that's right.
And do you have anything else you want to add?
You know what? Just love yourself. Learn to love yourself. That's what all of these. That's what it all boils down to. When you can truly love your body heals. End of story.
The truth.
End of story.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Lorraine, thank you. Thank you for
you.
your time.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing all of you next week on BraveHeart Women's Show. That's all I got for now. 3, 2, 1.
You got this.
You got this.